back to another finger painting video. Today we're going to be painting Olaf from Frozen 2. These are the colors that you'll be needing. Lots of white, some orange, light blue, navy, black, and a black marker. You'll also be needing a hairdryer, some paper, and your fingers. All right, so starting off, I'm actually going to be making Olaf's head and his hair. He doesn't exactly have hair. He has more like branches coming out of the top of his head. So what we are going to do is taking our black marker, we're going to kind of draw these branches in. One goes straight down and has a little piece that comes in to that branch and maybe has a few little pieces hanging off of that branch. He's also got another one that comes in. All right, that looks a little bit more branch-like. He's got another one that comes in right next to it that kind of curves in like so, and it has a little bit coming in there. And that is kind of our take on Olaf's hair, because he's got some branch hair because he's a snowman. The snowman can have hair. We're also going to make his arms right now just because it's going to be a little bit easier to do this and to kind of get an idea where things are going to go. So I'm going to leave some room for his head, and I'm going to go in right here, kind of about 3 fingers down, or maybe more depending upon how big your fingers are. And we're gonna go across about this same 3 fingers, and we're gonna do another one right there. And those are gonna be Olaf's arms. So his arms are branches because he's a snowman. So we're actually going to do kind of this branchy thing that comes out. I promise you guys, this is finger painting. We will be getting into finger painting, but first we gotta do these branches. And then we're gonna do his thumb. He's got a thumb, and he's got 3 fingers on this hand. And he's got this arm over here, which has got a round bit, and then it comes out in a branch. These do not have to be straight lines. In fact, it looks kind of better if it's not a straight line because these are branches. A little bit of a thing coming off every once in a while. Got little buds that come off of hands. And this is going to be 1 finger. He's got 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and a thumb. So each hand has 3 fingers and a thumb. So there we go. We have Olaf's arms and his hair. This is going to make it so much easier when we go back because we're not going to have to wait for so much of the white paint to dry. Now we're going to go in and we're going to start Olaf's head. Contrary to popular belief, we're not going to go right in with the white. We're actually going to go in with this dark blue, and I'm going to put a little bit of this light blue into it and create our shadow. And then it's much easier to put the shadows in first and then to go back and add our brightness. So I'm actually going to go and do right around where I put this branch. We're gonna do his body, the top of his body first, and then the bottom of his body. We're gonna do the top and bottom, and then we're gonna get to the head, because his head, if you look at a photo of Olaf, or if you can remember what Olaf looks like, his head's kind of on top of all of that. So sometimes it's easier when you paint to work from things that are far away and work closer towards you. So he's got a very round body, so we're making that part of the snowman. We can leave some spots white. This is going to make it look even more white when we do add our white paint. But there we go. That's going to be where our highlight is, and we're going to do the other part of his body. So the bottom part, we're going to leave a little bit of a space right there. We're going to add, we're just drawing our snowman. Do you want to build a snowman? We're building an Olaf snowman. And Olaf is actually really round, but you know what? He's a snowman. So if you make him a little bit lumpy, it's okay. You just think, what does Olaf look like to you in your head? What does your Olaf look like? Maybe he's totally different looking from the one in the movie. That's okay. It's your art, it's your world, it's your Olaf. And whatever you think in your mind will start happening on the page. So we're going to kind of just add these shadows in. See, I got the bottom of his body, and I can fill that in later on with our white paint, and it's really just going to stand out and look three-dimensional. And now we're gonna do his feet. Now Olaf's feet are kind of round. He's got a flat bottom though. So we're doing the flat bottom, and then we're gonna kind of take our finger and just bring it in a little bit. We have 1 foot there. Actually make his foot a little bit bigger. There we go. 1 foot and 2 foot. 1 foot, 2 foot. That reminds me of the Dr. Seuss book. I used to love the foot book, the Dr. Seuss foot book when I was a kid. All right, so we've got 2 feet right there, just like so. Now we're gonna go in and do his head. So starting up here where we have our branches. See, that's the other nice thing about doing the branches first, is that we can work and build from that. So Olaf has a very distinct head. He's got kind of a flat top where the branches are, and it comes down a bit. And then he's got this part that comes, it's kind of like a triangle. It's like a very round triangle. And that's kind of where his eyes are. And then he's got this part, this cheek that comes out and goes straight down. Straight down. And we might have made this a little closer than I expected, but that's all right. We're gonna take this up just a little bit and go down, and we're going to make his chin go straight over. And I'm going to actually go like this. This is going to create where his mouth is. This looks like a hot mess right now, but we will get there, I promise. Okay, so we've got our shadows in where our Olaf is going to go. I'm gonna actually tap into a little bit of this black, go in with this blue. Again, we're doing the darkest stuff first. I know that it sounds a little bit crazy, but if you start thinking about things that you see in terms of colors and what is dark and what is light, it's a whole different way to train your brain, but it does eventually start making sense. We are going to make kind of a triangle in here, and this is going to be his mouth. So this is the triangle. And you'll see these different shapes start to emerge a lot over and over again when you are making things. Triangles and circles, very common patterns that you see all around us. So there we have, that is our mouth shape. That's where Olaf's mouth is going to be. And now we're going to clean off our finger. I like to keep some water nearby to clean my finger off with, and a rag, or I have my special painty pants that I like to put my paint on and wipe my fingers off on. And now we're gonna go in and do Olaf's body, okay? Ready? We've got white on our finger, big deep breaths. All right, so going in from the head, we're actually going to kind of just blend it down. Just take our white paint and blend it down. You can always add more white. You can't take it away. So, as you can see, our dark blue is actually starting to disappear. So I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow here, because I want that shadow to not disappear. And I'm going to add some white, and using a different finger. See, this is one reason I like finger painting, is because it's like I can use multiple brushes at the same time. So many brushes. Okay, going in with the white, I'm going to make the top of his lip, like so. I'm gonna do his eyes last. Just making sure that we get some of that color around. And he's got kind of a lip there. Okay. And this is really bright white here. So we're gonna do, he's got his teeth that hang out, and he's got his nose. So we've got that, and now we're gonna go in and do the rest of his body. So going in here, we're going to add some white to our snowman, making sure that we leave some of that blue around that's going to create our round shadows to make that body look like it's just boom, it's there. It's standing out, it's proud, it's loud. It is Olaf, and Olaf is here to get noticed and to sing and entertain. I'm actually going to make this a little bit rounder because that's what you can do with paint. You can just add and subtract and take away. It's like math, but with paint. And with a whole lot less rules. There's a whole lot more rules when it comes to math. Okay. So there we go. We've added a little bit of paint. That's going to make his body a little bit rounder. And we're going to do his tummy. Again, just kind of coloring inside of these lines that we've made with our dark blue. And every once in a while, I'm going to tap back in and just kind of make sure that those shadows still stay there. We want this part, the white part, to be the brightest. But we kind of want to make sure that this dark part stays a nice dark blue. Like so. You see, there we go. All right, now, very lightly dipping into the white, I'm going to do his feet. We're gonna touch a little bit of paint on this side and we're just gonna pull. And we're going to do the same over here, but on the opposite side. We're gonna take our paint right here and pull it towards the middle. And that is going to create his feet. So there we go, we have Olaf's feet. We're gonna make his buttons now. He's got these big rock coal-like buttons. So just using a dot of paint on our finger, we're just gonna kind of smudge some right there. And he's got two more here. So we're gonna do 1 and 2. There we go. And he's got a little bit of highlights and shadows on that as well. So using our gray color, I'm gonna just mix up a little bit more of this lighter gray with our white. And I'm just going to take the tip of my finger and just lightly brush it on top, because that's going to make it look like it's not a perfect round object. No rocks are perfectly round. They've got texture, and that is going to add some texture to his buttons. And if it gets a little smudgy, that's okay. They are buttons. They're not supposed to be perfect. All right, so we've got this. Now we've got to make his eyes, his nose, and finish his mouth. And he needs his eyebrows too. How are we doing? This is still drying. So what I'm actually going to do is use my hair dryer and make sure I get his eyes really, really dry. Make sure that I dry all of his head, because that's what I'm going to be touching up next. All right, now that our face is dry, we can draw on Olaf's face, his eyes. He's got these fun eyebrows. So we've got one, we're gonna do kind of like a line that curves at the side. That is one eyebrow, and we're going to do the same thing over here to this side. We're gonna do a line, and we're kind of just going to swoop it down into a point. There we go. We've got our two eyebrows, and now we're gonna do his eyes. So we're gonna do a round ball here, and a round ball here. It's Very important to make sure that your hair dryer makes your paint nice and dry so that you can color over top of it. And he's got his eyes, and then he's got kind of a round dot in the middle. We're gonna make them a little bit bigger. So we have some eyes. We're going to make his nose in a minute, but first let me finish his mouth. So he's got this kind of a curve. Now, in the movie, this is actually done with white, but it's just gonna be easier to see here on the camera if we do this with black. We're gonna go across, that's where his mouth is, just like so. And then we're gonna make his teeth. He's got these big teeth that give him such a great smile. This looks a little silly because we still haven't done his nose yet, but I'm just going to kind of outline where his mouth is going to be. And now I can finally go in and do his nose. This is going to be one of the last things that we do here for Olaf. I'm going to go in with our orange and taking my finger, I'm going to lightly start. And I'm gonna take my finger and make it really thick right here, like right past his eyes. So we're gonna go thick and we're gonna go thin, and then we are going to drag out and try to make it as thin as possible on the other end. He's got like this very full of character nose, his carrot nose. All right, and then going in with a little bit of white, I'm just going to throw a few highlights on here, like so, with our white paint. I'm gonna actually highlight his teeth just a little bit as well. Just kind of go over top, make his teeth nice and bright, and I'm gonna make his chin. There we go. Ta-da! And there you have it. There is Olaf. Well, our Olaf anyways. What do you guys think? I'd love to see what your Olafs look like. Be sure to use the hashtag in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you until next time. That's me. Ooh, I shouldn't have mixed the blue in there. Oh well. There we go. Bye!